Took us 14 hours and 56 minutes to walk here today. How are you feeling? Yeah, that checks out.
I've never walked so much in my entire life.
Well, and what a journey you've walked to get to this point. 7 days until the release
Of Moon Shi, my album, a Teddy P original, the third Teddy P album.
But I think it would be fitting if we took a trip down memory lane. You know, it's been a long walk through the history of Teddy P.
Oh. There's a history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Walk me through it.
Walk you through the history of Teddy P.
Yeah.
Oh, where do we begin? Well, picture this. It's June 4th, 2004. It's pre 9/11. On that day, I was born into this beautiful, strange, bizarre world that some call. Some say we live in like VR.
The salt flats.
Salt, yeah. And then I don't know. It was COVID-19. I was like, "Yo, let's make some music and let's call." Instead of Henry, which is my legal name that my mom and dad gave me, they said, I decided to go by Teddy P during the pandemic.
And how do you feel about your legal name?
How do I feel about my legal name?
Yeah, your government name.
Henry Poli. Henry Lawrence Poli. Henry Poli. That was a name reveal.
Huh?
That was a name reveal. I don't think I've ever revealed my name.
Well, it's a big day. Fitting.
Big day today. Henry Poli. Henry, that's a great name. That's a great name. You know. I met one other Henry once. He was Hispanic. It was 6th grade. He seemed nice.
Did it kind of give you an identity crisis?
It was a little weird. Yeah.
It's like, wait, there's another Henry.
Yeah.
I'm Henry, but he is also Henry.
Yeah. What about Davis?
I feel like I've also had that experience, just because you don't meet a lot of Davises. And so when there's another one, it's kind of like, whoa. And right now, get this, there are 3 Davises in the office. I'm Davis too.
Do people call you Davis too?
Formally, yeah. You know, day to day, just gotta be dynamic. And I realize that's just how, that's how all the Addies and the Rachels and the Johns, it's just all they've known.
If my name was John, I think I would be a very different person.
Think so?
Yeah. Well,
it's impossible to
maybe
say.
not. Maybe not.
It's an impossible question, but do we embody our name? Maybe.
I think the science says we do. Not that I've researched this, but I saw a reel.
You did some groundbreaking research.
Yeah, I was scrolling on my phone, and it was like, oh, John's, scientifically,
I was reading this article the other day on Instagram Reels, and yeah, I found out we embody our names. Our names don't embody us. Think about that. Damn. Well, let's pick up. Teddy P is born before 9/11, before COVID-19.
It was a different world, man. The pre 9/11 world. People acted differently, you know.
Yeah, and I get the sense that a lot of the music you make is kind of it's addressing that. It's maybe subliminally, but I still feel it.
I remember that day. I was a couple of years old. That's the day Teddy P was really born.
Tell me more.
um, um, to tell you the truth, I don't remember 9/11.
Hey man.
I don't. I was like 3 years old.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
so sorry. Do you remember that day?
I remember the trauma. I don't remember the event.
You remember the trauma.
Yeah, sometimes that's how it goes. You remember the hurt, you remember the change, but you don't remember what caused the change.
That's beautiful. I didn't know. I didn't know that attack on our country had such an effect on you.
I hope us being at the Salt Flats vindicates us for being two white dudes doing a podcast.
Nothing wrong with doing a podcast like once every 3 years.
That's true. I think that our frequency is... Because when you're two white dudes doing a podcast, and if you do it frequently enough,
Yeah.
suddenly, yeah, that's when you start to see bigotry, misogyny, even racism.
Teddy P does not support that kind of stuff, just for the record. I think Teddy P, I think Teddy P is an ally.
Yeah.
Is an ally and a friend to everybody. And I hope, the Teddy P fan base can also encompass my values and beliefs. Yep.
I completely agree.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll set the record straight.
I love I have some homosexual friends and they're great.
That's how my mom is like that. She's like, yeah, I have some transgender friends. And it's like, okay, Mom.
Yeah.
We love them.
We do. You love your mom?
They're not the token. I love my mom.
I love my mom.
And then retrogression.
Damn.
Banger.
Bro's pulling out the deep cuts. Damn. So retrogression, I'm going to spill some tea. Was the first ever Teddy P release under the name of Teddy P. It's a decent track, whatever. It's a little weird. But for the first thing ever, I think it's good enough. And I made it because I signed a contract with this record label ran by the one and only Davis Dowell title, and it was called Tazita Records.
I think we grew up in beautiful circumstances where a 16-year-old boy came from privilege, was like, I can do anything, including starting a record label. Like, what, maybe 1 year into owning an interface?
And you went on DistroKid, and you, where it says label, you wrote Tazita Records.
Sure did.
And so on the contract it said I had to release something every month. I don't know if
it actually said.
I don't know. But I remember it was like kind of intense.
Yeah, it was like, man, I look back and it's endearing to me. Because I think we all just like wanted to make stuff. But,
Yeah.
When you're also a kid, it's like tasks are difficult. Emotions are high. Logic low.
Yeah, but it came from a good place. We all just kind of wanted to have fun and make music. And so I made music. And I think I was the only person that made music under that label.
I think Goodfellas.
Did they release?
I think we released something under.
Good.
Oh, I think I also.
Oh, Sunny D.
Yeah, I did. I released a couple tracks.
Ultramarine.
Gotta love it.
Okay, so released Retrogression, and then I don't even know. I don't know what I did. Where the Cats Are. Boom. Goated album. The album's goated with the sauce.
That album is so good.
I love that album.
Remember when we did that promo with the typewriter at my parents' church?
Couldn't forget. That was the best way to announce an album. Nothing will ever beat that. Nothing will ever beat that.
On the stage in the gymnasium at a Mormon chapel built in 1968.
It was a vibe, yeah, and you taught me how to use the typewriter.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Hey, of course.
Every other album, it's weird. You finish the album and then you're like, okay, now what? Like, how do I just tell people, like, yo, I got an album coming out? I don't even remember what I did for this one. Oh, no, I just posted a photo and said, okay, cool, album's coming out in 75 fucking days.
Incredible.
I guess it's just, social media, just corruption.
Well, so after Where the Cats Are, I think that was so amazing because that was sort of birthed and kind of raised it was just like in high school, that was sort of just free Teddy P. Not constrained to any industry standards, high level scholastic music theory and knowledge, even though you knew your chops.
No, but I didn't, bro.
But
I didn't
then
know shit.
You go into the big pond, and you're at the University of Utah, studying jazz performance, right? That was
Yes.
Is that your overarching major, or was there a specific saxophone?
No, it's jazz performance.
And then we see a major sonic shift. I remember hearing Teddy P, which is just has to be one of. I'm just so glad you did that. I remember seeing that and just being like, yes, thank God.
That was Davis's idea to do TED EP. You said that like years before.
That's right. Forgot about that.
Yeah, that was your idea.
I remember. Yeah, I saw that. I was just like, yeah, let's go. But the music and the recording chops, the actual compositions were a pretty big shift from, Where the Cats Are.
Yeah.
And it seems like there's a nice, I'm going to say the forbidden word, juxtaposition. Oh. There's a nice juxtaposition between the actual compositions and the complexity in the writing, but then the actual mix and recording it's still really polished, but it's rough around the edges, and that's something you don't totally see in your previous work. And I don't know, what was that, just kind of an accidental situation, or was that intentional, and how did that kind of come about?
I remember first recording what is now TED EP. Like in the very beginning, I remember being like, I honestly don't want to do this. I don't want to do this the way that we are doing it.
How are you doing it?
Which was, we all get in a room and we record it, It's like very, that's it. You record it in the studio, you do a few takes, choose the best take, done, I didn't want to do that because I wanted to do like
You wanted to track it?
yeah, get the metronome out, get some MIDI synths, like just do what I did on Where the Cats Are. And I, kind of, yeah, I didn't want to do what we did for Teddy P at first, but then it was like, well, we're just gonna do this because this is what the band is doing, right? There was the Teddy P like live band formed between Where the Cats Are and Ted EP, and
Was that when we played?
shaped Ted EP.
Is that when we played that show?
Yeah.
The worst show I've ever played. You guys have to understand. Did you ask? You asked me to play it.
I asked you.
You asked me to play it, and I was very busy, and had undiagnosed ADHD. And I hit up a few of my buddies. We did one rehearsal about 2 hours before the show started. And I really walked into that with the approach that, like, it'll work out. That is probably the one thing in my life, more than anything else, that kind of tickles at my spine when I'm driving to school, or I think about in the shower and I let out a gasp of disbelief. I don't know what I was thinking, because while I know that I have many strengths, I'm not a singer. Not a singer. And I'm not even at the point where like now wasn't for sure then at the point where like I embraced having a bad singing voice. It was like bad singing voice and I'm insecure about it. And then I got up on stage with a couple of these guys with some of the worst live sound, so none of us could hear ourselves. 30 people, 20 people in the audience. It was devastating, but at the same time, it was good for me. And it was funny because we, for some reason, were the headliners.
You really? You guys were headlining?
Yeah, we played last.
Oh yeah, you guys did.
We played last, and I was so pissed about it. And I tried to get you to come bail us out and play some sax.
No, because I was so sad after my set.
You could have played anything, and it would have saved the day.
I'm sorry. I
Hey,
should have.
No,
I was messed up.
You wrote the compositions for every single person's part, and there were a lot of you. You wrote charts for everyone.
Okay, so this is like the third Teddy P show ever, but the two shows before that, one was at like some random ass coffee shop that sucked. One was at a Japanese dessert bar. So are those shows? No. This was the first show. This is at a venue. There's sound people. There's like space for people. This is the first Teddy P show. And I brought some, bunch of horn players, like whole horn section. There's some killing cats here. And then, and plus the Teddy P like live band. First ever show. Sub-fatty, synths, got everything. And show up and the sound people were unaware, apparently, that I was bringing musicians with me. And the sound lady, she cussed me out. She cussed me out. I've never been cussed out in my entire fucking life.
Wait, what? Why?
Because she was like, we have to do math before. She was talking about math. Like, we have to do math. It's like, bro, I can do your job.
Y'all are not doing math.
No, you're not doing math.
Like, it's coming from someone who's done decent amount of, like, live sound. Been the guy at the mixer doing the thing.
What fucking, are you doing math?
No.
Like the acoustics of the, like...
No, you do a sound check, make sure everyone can hear themselves, and then you do the show, and make sure people's ears don't get blown out, and make sure they sound good. That's literally it.
Yeah. Like, you listen.
Yeah, it could definitely be stressful.
Sure. I can, there was a lot of people, but also you weren't miking any of the horn players.
Yeah, you didn't need to. It was a small venue. All you need to do is just, like, mix in the synths.
Yeah,
and
all
like,
you had to do was put the synth in the DI and then make it go through the house, but they couldn't do that.
and then just like make it
The
level with
Rise in
everything
Provo,
else.
Utah. Let's get real here. The Rise in Provo, Utah could not.
But you know what?
And it's bad to be a musician to hate on venues. That's a really low thing to do.
It's like the optics are bad, but you have to understand that. And here's the thing: it's like, at least on my end, we were destined for a bad show, regardless of the sound. we could have been playing Wembley or the Rise, and it would have been bad. But I mean, I will say, you guys still sounded great, and like just the novelty of like seeing, because you don't really see bands like Teddy P Band. You don't see that type of combination.
No.
And like what even made you think about doing that? Where was the idea? Or did you just
I
did it just
brought a
happen?
horn section to the show because I knew people in the horn section would bring their families and would add people in the show. Only fucking reason. I mean, so real. I don't give a shit about the fucking horn parts.
So
Okay,
you
that's
wrote,
a lie. Like, I wrote, it was a
you
fun
wrote
process.
the horn
but,
parts. That's amazing.
but, yeah, I'm like, they're going to bring in people. And guess what? They brought in people, you know? Their mom. It's like, cool. Because at the time, I really, you know, I was like, this is a show. There has to be people there. It has to be big. Ah! So I brought in a bunch of fucking horn players. You know? You know, it's like, I got Dave's too, you know? Dave's knows people. You know? A few friends. You know? Also Sunny D and Teddy P is pretty, I like, you know.
You know,
has a
it's
ring to
it's
them.
kind of a shame we never got to do a live gig together. Besides our jazz in the library at chess club.
Yeah, we, man, bro, remember Take 5?
Yeah.
That was like, it probably actually sucked, but like in the moment, it was like the greatest
No,
thing.
it ripped.
There's people just playing chess. Like, imagine playing chess and there's like,
Yeah, you're at chess club and there's live jazz.
but not like quiet live jazz, like shit's going fucking crazy. Shit's crazy. Dave is like inventing chords on the piano.
No, I'm fighting for my life because I haven't done a day of jazz band.
You're like
in my life.
counting to five. You're like,
You're setting me up with iReal Pro. I have no idea what the hell is going on.
like, yeah, I don't even. I remember writing you a part for Billie Jean.
For
And
what?
For Billie Jean.
Oh, yeah.
Or not for Billie Jean, for Thriller.
Thriller.
For Thriller.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. But I remember you were like, I have no idea what the fuck this means. I was like, okay, you know, we'll make it work. You know, there's
Yeah,
a
you were-
YouTube tutorial out there somewhere. I
You
don't
were
know.
always very gracious.
That was fun.
my,
That was all. It's high school. It was fun.
Long story short, you recorded your entire album right where we are now, on the Salt Flats.
Moon Shi in its entirety was recorded on the motherfucker. The beautiful.
Closest thing to the moon, probably, at least in Utah. This? Look at this. Look at that. It's the moon.
I didn't even think about that. That's.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah. This is some moon ass landscape. Beautiful. Entirely here. Now, bands, there's every band in Utah, every hipster band, every indie, whatever the fuck, has been to the Salt Flats to record some stuff, take some photos,
Do a video, yeah.
do video. Everyone and their mom has been to the Bonneville.
Oh, yeah,
Salt Flats.
those blonde families wearing all white linen. Mom has that big ass hat.
Yeah. So, you know, this has been done before by everyone. But, you know, the Teddy P, like, bass synths and synthesizers and vocals, plus a big band, a jazz big band. I don't know if that's been done before. I'm going to go ahead and frankly say, no, it hasn't been done before. So, take that for what it is. Which I think is pretty cool. Yeah.
So you came out here in one day.
One day. Got like 6 hours. Okay, let's set the stage. We have probably around 20 people. I'm like in charge of getting 20 people to get to the salt flats. And if you look around, you might notice there's not a lot of landmarks. So everyone is carpooling, and you have to find a meeting spot out here. How the fuck do you do that?
Sending coordinates.
Yeah, you're like, but there's like the service, you know, you're doing that. And then, everyone shows up 2 hours late. Your vocalist shows up like 3 hours late, you know, because like someone forgot their shirt because there's a Teddy P brand and everyone needs to look this certain way.
Well, of course.
And so, yeah, go get your tie, but then you're 3 hours late. Oh, and your trombone player, his flight is late, so he can't come. But then your vocalist's brother plays trombone, so like that worked out. You know, there's all this shit, right? So you're stressed about that, and now you got 3 hours to record like all of this shit that you wrote. Everyone's hot. People's iPads with the sheet music, it's so hot their iPads are overheating, so they can't read the fucking music. You can't do anything because, yeah, it's just hot, but they need the music, so you have to wait for the iPad to cool down. Yeah, but we did it, and it's worked out.
Not to mention, like, lots of metal instruments.
Oh, yeah, the instruments, everyone's, you know... We were facing, the band was facing the sun, so the sun's just directly lasering everyone. No one is getting paid. No one is getting, well, the tuba player got paid. Besides that, no one is getting paid. Everyone's just doing this for the love of the game.
Were there any tuning issues?
Tuning's a nightmare. When woodwinds and brass instruments go outside and it's hot or cold, shit goes fucking wild. And so the band's completely out of tune. Completely out of tune. So, you know, we gotta like lock that in, do some tuning, and then, yeah. In the end, it's good enough in tune on the album. But
And
it didn't start out like that.
I feel like the only question I can really ask right here is why?
Why?
Yeah, why do all that? Aren't there recording studios at the U?
They call it an experimental recording studio, which means it's really bad.
I mean, yeah, you could even say that. I think this is me playing devil's advocate here. An experimental recording studio, you know, maybe acoustically better for XYZ.
Oh, yeah.
But like, what compelled you to go through all this?
I think there was a logistical, like, okay, I think the band, we played Kilby Court, and that was always kind of just like this goal of ours, and so we were like, okay, great, now what? And I think we just talked, and we were like, let's just, like, do an album and go the Salt Flats. And that idea was just kind of planted. And then I don't know, being the person I am, I was like, well, let's just bring a fucking, you know, like 10-piece big band out here. Because why not? Like, that's cool, you know? Like that will, one, it will look cool. Just all these people out here. And two, you know, it should sound cool if the parts are written well. And hopefully I wrote the parts well. But yeah, that's it really. It's just cool.
Being one of a privileged few who's been able to hear it. I think you did all right.
Thank you.
And specifically, I mean, maybe talk us through what are some of the standout tracks and you know, this is your most vocally prominent album.
This is true, yeah.
And like, I think that probably left some room for, you know, now it's like you're not really necessarily just performing something now, you're saying something as well. Like, was that something that really crossed your mind, or was it a pretty casual experience? Is there indifference, or was there something you were trying to get at?
I love vocals and lyrics. I'm going to say this. I'm exposing myself right now.
Let's hear it.
I love lyrics and vocals. And this is such an anti like jazz musician thing. Jazz musicians like they all hate vocalists. A vocalist shows up to the jam and like it just the vibe jazz is like the bass is not vocals. It's like horn players and then vocalists. There's like there's a big gap. But I love singing and vocals and lyrics. I don't really know why. I just do. But I can't fucking sing. I haven't practiced singing.
So
When I
real.
do sing it sounds bad because I haven't practiced. But I'm adding all these lyrics to everything. Like every song I've ever written like since Moon Shi has lyrics. Even if lyrics aren't sung, I write lyrics. Cause I just do that. I don't know. But the way it worked for this, or the way it worked for the band at the time, is I would write the tune. I would write my own lyrics for the melody. And then, because I'm not singing this shit, because I'm not a good singer, and we have Esther, who's like just an amazing, incredible singer, I would show her the melody and the lyrics, and then she would change them up and frankly make them a lot better. So, like, it's half my lyrics, half Esther lyrics, and just combining them, it's just like, boom, it's butters
You
up.
could say Esther is the refiner's fire.
The refiner's fire?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's like when you put metal into the fire and you just absolutely just annihilate it. It comes out a beautiful alloy of some kind. I'm actually not sure off the top of my head how the process works.
Well,
But that's a saying.
yeah, she takes, like, my stupid stuff and just, like, gets rid of all the and then just makes it into this beautiful thing. Just like that. And
I mean,
so I really can't take a lot of credit for the vocals, but I wrote some of the lyrics. I did write all the melodies, so there's that, I guess.
Yeah, I remember hearing Reticent, and that was sort of, because I hadn't seen you. You were all the way up in Salt Lake. We were, separated.
Long distance.
Been doing long distance. It's been tough. But
Easier said than done.
Easier said than done. But I remember hearing that and just being kind of wowed and blown away. Yeah, I just remember being blown away. And I feel like that, because I think it's really hard because a lot of music, the vocals are the main point, to the point where the actual tune just becomes additive or tertiary. And it seems like jazz, it's more of an emphasis on, it's the tune, it's all these moving parts that kind of are synthesized and, kind of become more than the sum of their parts or whatever. But I think, and it seems to be understood, and I imagine a lot of jazz players do feel this way, but a vocalist can absolutely fill that role.
Yeah, completely.
It seems almost more like a cultural thing where there's maybe some dismay towards how just the way vocalists are seen and the way how it's
There's a massive stereotype.
yeah, it's like we only care about the vocalist and the tune is just accompanying it. But that's why I think you've done really, really well on these tracks, is the vocals they're not in your face. They're dreamy. They sound instrumental in a lot of ways. And I think major shout out to and props to Esther for that execution, because that is hard. It takes sometimes really nice sounding vocalists. They do it in a way where it's it just demands attention.
Yeah.
And like that's not what we're looking for necessarily here.
No.
You know, it's
No.
and then one of the second to last track.
Moon shit. Goodbye and moon shit.
Yeah. What's that all about? 'Cause those are pretty ambitious tracks.
Yes.
It has some of the most gorgeous, nice sounding textures on the whole project, and then also some of the most grating and in some ways challenging.
Yeah.
And like what's going on?
So during the time before moon shit, a relationship that I was in for 4 years ended. The only relationship, that I had experienced at that point in my life, so you can imagine that's pretty intense. And that's a completely life-changing experience. And musically, I found that I couldn't really practice unless if it was I could like bring my pain into like the thing I was practicing, which sounds really weird because when you think about practice, that's not really typically an emotional thing like playing a scale or something, or just doing anything. You're not really like processing your emotions. You're just doing the things so you can get better at doing the thing, right? But John Coltrane, he wrote this tune called Naima, and I learned at that time that he wrote it for his wife, and I thought that was really beautiful and incredible because the tune is very it's very dark and beautiful. There's light parts, but there's a lot of dissonance, and it's not what I conventionally would think of when you're writing something.
Yeah, like a love song.
Yeah, but that was his way of showing love for like his wife, right? And I just, again, with the whole everything in my life was kind of relating to the pain I was experiencing. I was obsessed with that song, and I tried to write something that was inspired, both emotionally by that song, but also musically. Naima, there's a pedal, there's the root note, and the root note is constant. That's like the rock of life, and then there's just chords above the root, and then a melody, and that's what moon shit is. Um, it's it was written, and it might not sound like it, but it was written as that's like essentially it's a breakup song, because that is what fueled the composition process for that entirely. And it goes into like bum 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 bum, but the ending of it, go look at the lyrics, and think about that. But okay, that was a long answer. That was a long, convoluted answer
No,
to a simple question. But yeah, John Coltrane, everybody.
Big ups.
Shout out to John Coltrane.
Big ups to John Coltrane. Hey.
I have no agenda. I have no agenda. I'm just having fun.
That's what I love about Salt Flats. It's just so quiet, and
It's so quiet.
it really has a way of just cutting through that bass level noise that just you don't really notice the effect that it has on you until you're somewhere like here where it's just like that's it, you know.
You don't notice how loud and chaotic life is until you're just in the middle of a
Salt Flats.
salt thing. Yeah, just a flat land where there's nothing. And it's funny, we recorded something out here, added all this sound, this unnecessary sound. We provided a soundtrack to this place, and I don't think it needs it, but we did it.
I don't know. You could say that sort of. Maybe metaphorically, it's a blank canvas, you know.
Yeah.
It's so silent that it almost begs for it. Honestly, there is something truly just surreal about listening to I don't know instruments out here. I remember when we would come and you would just start walking and be playing your sax, and you could be 200, 300 yards away, and you just the sound always still reaches you, and you just hear it in its rawest form. And I don't know. It's always special sensation to me. You remember listening to the album? It's speakers 40 feet away, 50 feet away.
It was pretty far away.
But still, it sounds great.
I can totally hear it. When you play the saxophone or any instrument, you can't see in the camera, but there's all these mountains in the sound because there's nothing blocking the sound. It just goes straight to the mountains, and then it comes back, so there's this insane, it's really cool echo. And I'm sure everyone here can if there's just anyone out there, I'm sure they can hear it too. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
This is truly Valhalla Supermassive.
Hey guys, so a little bit of insight into the mixing. I would like to personally thank the creator of the Valhalla Supermassive plugin. It's a free, completely free plugin. It was probably the first plugin I ever got. Well, it definitely was. And I just spammed that everywhere on the album. Anytime you hear reverb, it's probably Valhalla Supermassive.
Because it genuinely sounds so good.
It is. You add it, and it just turns into butter. And it's a lot. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to say, you overproduced this album. You did too much. I've already had people saying, I've already had people say this. You did too much. It's overkill. And, what I say to you is, you can have an opinion, and that's great. That's beautiful. I love people with opinions. But also, I don't know. I'm the only Teddy P there is. I mixed the album how I wanted to mix it. Thank you. Sorry, okay. Shout out to Valhalla Supermassive.
Well, I think too, especially in your genre, I think there definitely is, for sure, overkill in jazz. I mean, there's overkill in every genre, but I think and this is coming from someone who is not qualified to say this, but I think jazz could use some overkill. I think it just seems so often, and I'm sure you have more thoughts on this because you're immersed in this every day, but there's such a like
Jazz musicians are
marriage-
boring.
There's such a marriage to tradition and these just like conventions
Yeah.
that like are fantastic.
Yes.
But it's like I think you can still like use those conventions and do cool shit with it and do experimental shit with it, and it's not overkill. I mean, and also it's like you're in school, you know, you're making these projects, you're self-funding them, self-producing them. It's like I feel like
Hell
you're
yeah,
entitled
man.
to, yeah, like you're for sure entitled to overdo it, because why not lean into it?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you.
You can still be like pretty maximalist in songwriting and in production and still have finesse. I think that's definitely a thing.
No, everything I did, everything I did, I spent an like way too much time listening back to. You know, everything really is intentional. Is it the world's perfect mix? Hell no. But also, you try mixing this shit, bro.
It might be.
The mic placements you can see in the video, jacked up. I don't know who put those there, but
You didn't choose the mic placement?
no, I chose them. Yeah, I chose them.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how far away was the drum mic?
Drum mic is
the single drum mic.
the one drum mic. It's not even my mic. It's like some friend's mic.
What mic was it?
I think it was like a computer mic or like a has like a pop filter. It's like meant for podcasting. It was like that mic. It was like 10 feet away from the drums.
I'm actually kind of like
Like I don't even know if I
flabbergasted.
used that mic for the drums. I probably used a horn mic for the drums. I don't know. I honestly don't remember, but what what can you I made the best out of a situation. So thank you, Valhalla Supermassive Reverb.
Yeah, I think we can both say that Moon Shi is dedicated to Valhalla Supermassive.
Moon Shi is dedicated to Supermassive Valhalla Super Reverb.
Splashy
And
synth.
the splashy synth preset. And
Mix at 10 to 15%. 15 if you're feeling insane, and maybe turn down the high pass a little bit.
oh yeah, definitely turn it, because otherwise it's
It's just sparkles for 45 minutes.
yeah. But thank you, Valhalla. We're living in a post 9/11 world. But guys, I have been advertising this album. Okay, so here we go. I mixed the album. I spent my entire life for like a month just mixing this album every day. Just go to the library and mix. And then I go Michigan. I release it, or I like put it into DistroKid. It gets submitted to stores. And then I go Michigan to be a camp counselor for 2 months. And I got back a week ago, and now it's being released in a week. So I just want to say that advertising an album when you're busy all day working with 12-year-olds is insane and ridiculous and honestly horrible. And I hope I will never do that ever again. My next album, I'm going to be completely committed to releasing it and not going some random ass side quest. And the side quest was incredible, but doing Teddy P while doing Counselor does not work. It's either like Teddy P, yeah. Anyways, yeah. Just want to share that. Shout out to Blue Lake.
Shout out Blue Lake. Shout out Valhalla. Shout out Guarana. How do you say it?
I call it Guadana, but there's like no D, so I have no idea why I call that.
I said something like so scuffed about. I said it to Ed yesterday.
Wait, what did you say?
I said like Guarana or something, or I don't know. I said something totally scuffed. Dude, did I even tell you? I know we're like kind of wrapping up here, but I need to tell you what happened to me yesterday.
Please, bro. Okay, guys, I haven't seen this guy for 3 years? Like 4 years? I don't even know.
Can't have been 3 years. No.
No, I think it's been 3. Well,
No, it's been like 2 years. Yikes. Yeah, that's insane.
2 years.
Feels like, honestly, it's right where we left off.
Oh, Dave. So, yes, please tell me what happened to you yesterday.
Okay, so I need to make some shirts, yeah?
Yeah.
You know, my neighbor has been letting me borrow his, like, direct-to-film screen print thingy.
Hell yeah.
And it's like, you got the CMYK ink tubes that run in this thing, and then, you know, printer does it. Put in this, like, oven thing, bake it, you know, press it on, you're good. And, thank you. And the problem is it hasn't been working, and I need to get 10 of these shirts made ASAP. And I discovered the reason it wasn't working is because there's like a waste tube dispenser for all just like the leftover ink that then, you know, disposes of the ink and into its own bottle, and you're good.
Okay.
But I was using it a lot, and it got kind of clogged up, and then I had to go on hiatus from the printer, so then it just kind of solidified in there. But I need to get these shirts printed, right? I only have a couple hours left. And so the manufacturer recommends you put in this like crazy like print head cleaning solution that smells like you can smell it from like 20 feet away. It's insane.
Okay.
This bottle was just like unlabeled. It just was just a brown little glass bottle with just label that said print head cleaning solution. I was like, okay. So then I got my syringe with the tube, and I'm like putting some in, trying to like free up the clog. And it's like I'm having to like pull pretty hard on this syringe to like get this clog out. And eventually at one point, there's a lot of pressure, tube, syringe comes out. This shit sprays high pressure directly into my eyeballs. And that was one of those moments where genuinely like there was no silver lining in my head. There was no like, I couldn't tell myself any affirmations of like, oh, okay, like don't freak out, it's gonna be okay. It was actually like, no, like that's low-key wraps for me. That's curtains. And I run over to the sink and I'm just like flushing my eyes out. Call 911.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What the?
No, genuinely, it was the most agony I've ever been in, probably in my entire life. This stuff, it was just like, it was, yeah, like I have no words. I have to get my contacts out, and I like see for a brief moment my eyeballs are just like completely red. It's just like a disaster. They looked so gnarly. I got like one of the contacts out, and then these like paramedics arrived. I never even like looked at them. I couldn't. I never even saw them. There's a bunch of these like just blokes that like had me laid on the table, put this contraption on my head, were flushing my eyes out. One of the guys is like looking at the solution. He's like looking it up, and I overhear him say to one of his guys, he says, "Yeah, so it looks like sometimes these can be corrosive."
Holy fuck.
And I was like, okay, wait, I actually might be going blind right now.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, just like, I'm trying to keep it together because they're all just these just dudes in my kitchen who I can't see, holding my eyes open while they put this like thing that like just flushes them out. And then, luckily, thank God, it started to like alleviate a little bit to the point where I could like, where I wasn't like trying to catch my breath but couldn't breathe sort of situation. And then they like had me like sign this thing, but I couldn't really see, so I was just like just drawing on some fucking iPad. And then they left. They're like, you can come to the hospital if you want, but if you're starting to like already feel some relief, then it's probably not corrosive.
It's probably not corrosive.
And then that was that. That was my day yesterday. Then I went to the OFF thing and was wearing sunglasses. People probably thought I was stoned. I was like, just my whole body exhausted, trying to like interact with people and just being like, yeah, it was gnarly. And it just goes to show, dude. Sometimes crazy shit can just like happen to you. You know, you always forget. I feel like I've lived a somewhat like rudimentary schedule for the past couple years, but then just like boom.
You could totally just be blind. You could have totally just.
Yeah, it was like, and I'm a graphic designer. Like,
Yeah, that would be
that's
the
just
end.
raps, dude.
Yeah.
Anyways, I feel like it's not often that stuff like that happens, so I was like, I gotta literally tell everyone I know.
Yeah, when shit happens like that, that's the story.
Yeah, and I tend to like definitely hyperbolate a lot of like, gotta lean into these things. But no, genuinely, that's just like how it happened. That was the situation. Dead ass. Straight up. Anyways.
Shit just went in your eyes.
Yeah.
And it was the one worst pain you've ever felt.
Yeah.
Fucking ink like cleaning acid.
Yeah, it
Like,
was.
That
it was
has
just,
to be one of the worst.
Yeah, it's like I that's because the solution and the stuff in there was just like this like kind of slightly murky green, and I'm just like that's like kind of the last thing you would ever want going in your eyeballs, and it just went just point blank, just
Oh my god.
like squirt gun, just super soaker, just right in the eyes. It was.
That's scary. Honestly, that is so scary.
Yeah, it was terrifying.
I'm glad you're
Honestly,
okay.
it's a testament to how quickly we can recover. It's crazy. I was like my eyes like ache pretty bad, but like other than that, good.
You can see?
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Crazy.
Good.
Anyways, that's why I thought that one was sure. And it's like pitch black, so maybe I gotta say, we're so back, and we will free lounge from the void.
That does not exist.
Lounge does exist.
No,
we
it
just
does
need to
not.
redo it.
Lounge does not exist. There
No,
is no lounge.
that section you wrote is genuinely good.
I don't even know what I wrote. Like, I actually don't remember. Like, what is lounge? Don't be sad.
What? You wrote that whole section for it and everything.
I don't, I'm sorry.
Damn! You've been writing too many tunes.
No, I do, yeah. You gotta remember, it's like,
Okay,
it's been
well,
like
we have
4
a
years.
track that we've been like, it's been so long. It was like, 4 or 5 years ago at this point, so fair enough. But that was fire, and it just never got put out. And that's on me.
It is on you. But that's okay. Sometimes you just gotta make something and then not release it. And a lot of people freak out about that, but I think, if it's not gonna be released, it's not gonna be released. And you can make a big deal out of it or just be like, that's okay. Because you made that, and subconsciously, that led to something else, even if you can't, like, see that progression. You making that made it so you can make your next thing. I don't know if that makes sense. But I feel that a lot of the time when, like, I'll write something that, like, I think is really bad and is, like, dumb. But then through that, like, 1 year later, it will, like, come back in a really cool way or something for this thing. And it's like, yeah, that couldn't have happened if I didn't. I don't know. It's all connected, probably.
Yeah. Well, on that note,
this has been fun.
it's been really fun.
Thank you, Dave Style.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for, I dragged this guy out here. I dragged this guy away from his girlfriend.
Yeah. That's, it's a lot. I mean, 'cause it's like, who am I without my girlfriend? My beautiful girlfriend. I don't know. I guess Sunny D is gone.
There is no Davis without his girlfriend, everybody. If you're out there, okay, let's get serious. If you're out there and you're in a significant relationship, I just want to say that one, if you go to amusement parks with your significant relationship, your significant other, and you're like doing that thing where you're waiting in line, where you're just like and all close and like huggy and just doing all that shit. You know, I want to say I'm happy for you, but also like just know where the line is, please. I also want to say that if you're in a significant relationship with someone who's a fucking asshole, and you know, there's so many people who are in relationships with bad, just stupid, horrible people, right? And their entire life is spent trying to hide from the fact that they are with someone who sucks. They will do everything in their ability to try and hide it because they don't want to accept that, right? But this is my message to you. Just accept that your partner sucks and that there's someone who is awesome and will be there for you. But if you have a good partner, then this message is not applicable to you. Okay. I don't know where that came from, but yep. It's been fun, guys.
It's been a blast.
Adios, amigos. Okay.
Nice.
Wow.